This is Arnold, and I'm listening to The Don and Brian Show. Believe me, they will pump you up.
Hi, this is Brian from the Don and Brian Show, and the last couple episodes, Don and I have been talking about music because it's so dear to us. I was in the radio for a long time. Don had a huge music collection, but we just love music. And we started with the letter A, and we went from ABBA all the way down to Journey. The next letter of the alphabet, Don, is the letter K, and who are you going to associate with the letter K?
Well, it has to be the band named after the state of my birth, Kansas.
That's a no-brainer.
Everybody knows the big hits: Carry On, Wayward Son, Point of No Return, Dust in the Wind, Hold On, Play the Game Tonight. But there's one obscure song, relatively obscure, called Portrait. And my friend Joyce, my dear friend Joyce, who I've known even longer than you, Brian,
Wow.
since middle school days at Roosevelt Junior High in 1974. Anyway, we were listening to a Kansas album, and I heard this song, Portrait. And the lyrics go, he had 1,000 ideas. You might have heard his name. He lived alone with his vision, not looking for fortune or fame. Anyway, when I first heard that, and I wasn't a religious person at the time, I thought he's talking about Jesus. Come to find out, just recently I looked up to see what the inspiration for that song was, and it was Albert Einstein.
Wow.
But recently, the guy that wrote it from the band Kansas converted to Christianity, and guess what? He modified the lyrics to make them fit the life of Jesus Christ. So I was right 30 years ago, sort of.
Well,
All right.
you were right. You were right. There's no sort
Well,
of.
that's
You
how
were
it
right.
that's how it felt to me. Like I said, I never knew until just tonight that it was talking about Albert Einstein.
Kansas,
To me,
they put out so many amazing hits. None of their songs were abrasive. They were all beautiful songs. Great group.
oh, and the use of strings
Oh,
and harmonies and everything. Yeah. Now it's your turn. The letter L.
the letter L. Luscious. No, I'm just kidding. Well, Loverboy. I'm going to go with Loverboy. And that... Yeah, I'm going to go with Loverboy. Turn Me Loose, Working for the Weekend. Loverboy has been around for quite some time. And I was not a huge fan of Loverboy, but I did engage in a lot of their music because Turn Me Loose. I mean, some of that stuff really gets to you. I mean, back in the day, because, I mean, the music back then was a lot different than it is today. But my letter L is Loverboy, and that's just two of the songs. I could probably name another 10 or 12. But I don't
Hot
wanna
Girls
waste
in
it.
Love. Come
Oh,
on.
Hot Girls in Love. Another great song. Great video, too, when MTV actually did videos.
You know, when music television was music television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I do have an awesome story about Loverboy.
All right, let's
My
hear it.
sister Dana, my little sister Dana,
Yes.
she's 2 years younger than me, but when she became of age, and you only had to be 18 to get into Pogo's in Wichita, the disco that we've talked about before.
Right.
And we went out there, and they would play all those songs from Loverboy all the time. She had every cassette/album that was available at the time. I think she still does. She was a huge Loverboy fan.
Well, Loverboy-
I think she might have even gone to see them in concert. I'm
Well,
not sure.
Loverboy
she'll have to
was-
let me know.
Loverboy was back then classified. Not, I shouldn't say that now. They are could be classified as a hip chick type band because they were all good-looking guys. They wore them really tight pants. But bottom line is this: they all had great voices, great talent, and they produced amazing music. And there
Well,
was
the image that comes to mind when you said that was Mike Reno, the lead singer,
Yeah.
in his red leather or whatever,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the headband and the
that-
blonde hair.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Hey, you got to capitalize. When you got the moment, you got to capitalize, just like Kiss did back in the day. So, Loverboy
absolutely.
is my letter L. And Don, I'm throwing it right back to you with the letter M.
So many to choose from, but again, I'm going to have to go with one that I have a personal story about. Metallica.
I was going to say Megadeth, but that's okay. Go. Let's hear it.
Okie dokie. The first time I ever heard Metallica really was in Salina, Kansas, and
Yep.
you turned me on
I
to
remember
their
that.
song One,
Yep.
which was about World War II, and actually it was a true story.
Actually, it was World War One, I believe.
World War One, yes.
Yeah.
And he was injured. He lost his arms, legs, sight, hearing, and he couldn't speak. So here he is trapped in this shell of a body, unable to die.
Incredibly.
But anyway,
emotional.
that very moving song. Anyway, but the song I'm going to talk about is from what you call the Metallica Black Album, which was 91, 92.
Yep.
A lot of years after One. At the time, I had moved to Memphis from Wichita to be with a girlfriend. I had sold almost everything I owned, quit my job to be with this girl. Left my family, all my friends that I knew. She was the only one I knew, but I went there to be with her. But this song from that album, Wherever I May Roam,
Wow.
and the lyrics that spoke to me, wherever I may roam, where I lay my head is home. Carve upon my stone, my body lies, but still I roam. And that's kind of been my life since then, 25 years later, that I've been all over the place.
Right.
But that song still sticks with me. And when I hear it, I get goosebumps, just like I first did back in those days.
You know what? And
Now-
I didn't. I want to use.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't want to spend this much time on Metallica, but I do want to reiterate something. Metallica, like Don mentioned, that the first time he heard Metallica was in Salina. Well, that was the first time I had heard of them as well. But it was a heavy, quote unquote, heavy metal band back then that you could actually understand what they're saying. And you could enjoy the beautiful guitar, drums, the lyrics, but the story behind the lyrics is what was amazing. And you
Well, I think
nailed
that's
it.
what separates Metallica from all the other heavy metal thrash bands of the day, that they had literate lyrics.
Oh yeah, you could
it wasn't
absolutely
just screaming.
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that video one, oh my God! I mean, I know I shed at least a tear because it's sad. It's like God.
Well,
really,
it's still a
imagine?
staple of classic rock, classic hard rock music, and I heard it many times in Wichita when I was there a few years back. And great song. But Wherever I May Roam that's my all-time favorite Metallica song.
Well, I'll tell you
Now,
what,
Brian.
it nails you pretty well because Wherever I May Roam, and this is a compliment to my skipper Don. It doesn't matter where you drop him off at, he will adapt, overcome, and he does. And I'm so proud of you, Don. Anyhow, back to
Thank you, Brian. But I have something in my eye now.
yeah, what is that?
All right. My finger.
Yeah.
Anyway, letter N.
In. I'm gonna try and stay within the 80s, so I'm gonna go with Night Ranger, and for several reasons. I love Night Ranger. I think they brought a lot of excitement to the 80s music genre with "Don't Tell Me You Love Me," and especially Sister Christian. Let me tell you a little bit about Sister Christian. That came out in '84-ish. But that song was featured in not only a lot of video games like Grand Theft Auto, I'm sorry, but also in Friday the 13th.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. But for Sister Christian is a mellow, romantic song, and what's
At the first.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But I did some research on that years ago, and Sister Christian, actually, the song, when he wrote the song, he's talking about his little sister who's 10 years younger than him, and her name was Christy. And when he wrote the song and he went to sing it, he said, "Sister Christy, time has come." They thought he said Sister Christian. Well, they stayed with it. But he's actually saying sister. He was referring to his little sister Christy, who's 10 years younger than him. But it stuck. It was a top hit. It helped sell millions of albums. And Night Ranger, well, there you go. So A little snidbit from Night Ranger.
Well, you forgot it was also in the movie Boogie Nights.
I did not know that.
There's a famous scene where our heroes go to this creepy guy's house, and there's this little Vietnamese, a Cambodian guy running around lighting firecrackers and throwing them. But it's a classic scene. You got to see it, and the whole movie is great. Mark Wahlberg, Burt Reynolds as the director, and a gorgeous Julianne Moore as a porn star. Come on.
Oh, I love
Anyway.
it. That's funny. All right, Don.
I digress.
I think I'm going to stump you with this one, because I really couldn't come up with one. The letter O.
Oh, that's too easy.
What?
It is a group that I have loved since the 80s. Probably since I saw the video Private Life by Oingo Boingo.
Oh my God.
One of the weirdest looking but most talented men in music ever. Bright red hair, goofy expressions, but in the video Private Life, he's sitting in his room with a naked light bulb talking about crazy stuff. But that's Danny Elfman, and he is actually a successful composer.
That's what I was going to say.
And
He's composed a lot of music.
You've heard his music in Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Tales from the Crypt, The Simpsons theme. I mean, this guy is all over the place.
Wow.
But Private Life was my all-time favorite of his.
I can't believe you came up with one so quick.
Lying here, staring at the ceiling, waiting for dreams to come and take me away. I mean, the guy is. There's only a few people that I would like to meet in person, because a lot of times when you meet a famous person, they're either an a-hole or it's like, I thought you'd be a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
But I don't care how small he is. I would love to shake his hand and say, your music, I've been listening to you for over 30 years. You're awesome. Sing something for me. Oh, I don't perform like, oh, let me sing it to you then.
Exactly, yeah. Because I remember, yeah. That's good, Don. I thought throwing the letter O at you was going to be a little bit of a challenge, but you nailed it. But anyhow, Don, we're coming down to and my dog's whining over here. What the hell? Down to the last seconds here.
He wants to be on the next show.
He's going to be on one of these shows in video, but that's going to be when I'm in Florida. So, it's been a great episode, and Don, your knowledge is second to none. Your ability to recall information is just amazing.
Well, you threw a bunch of stuff out there too that I didn't know.
Well, I had to research that, but I researched it years ago. But
right, when we were on radio, you would, especially when you would interview celebrities that were coming to town, stars that were performing, you do a little research before you would go out and do a remote or whatever.
Well, if you don't, you look like an idiot.
So don't put yourself down. You have a great deal of knowledge about this subject.
But anyhow, Don and I have, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, have we're so into it. We love music. We're going to continue to do these. We're going to keep them between 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. And we're going to continue with the alphabet. What the hell was that? Alphabet. And we just ended with the letter O. So, Don, I guess I get to start with the letter P on the next episode.
Yep, P is all yours tomorrow.
I get a P next. Yeah. Woohoo! Anyhow, Don,
right.
Why don't you take us
Reminds
out?
me of a story.
Yeah, it always does. Why don't you take us out, Don?
All right, thank you for listening again. And like I said, this is a subject that's dear to our heart, music, and we're on a roll here. So expect another couple of episodes about music and what we've listened to over the years, events that we associate with certain songs. And as always, if you want to toss something out there for the next couple episodes, doesn't have to be a letter of the alphabet. Just throw us something. Email at thedonandbrianshow.com and try to stump us.
I'm down with that, yeah.
With a song or a group that means something to you, and we'll talk about it.
I don't think they can stump us. I really don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think
it is quite possible, but we're throwing the challenge out there.
The challenge is out there.
Yeah, this is the music challenge.
Yeah. Now we're not going back to the 30s or 40s, but if you want to go there, I'm with you.
Blue skies shining on me.
Got that right.
Nothing but blue skies do I see. That's 1923. So, yeah, bring it on, folks. Bring it on.
Once again, thanks for listening to the Don and Brian Show. This is Brian, and
this is Don, and we'll talk at you next time.
All right. Y'all be good now.
You're despicable. Watch your language, you bud. We're on the air.
This has been another episode of The Don and Brian Show. Copyright 2017, The Don and Brian Show. Please check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Don and Brian Show for the time and date of the next episode. Email us at email@thedonandbrianshow.com. Twitter @Don and Brian Show. And once again, thank you for listening.